Hi, I'm Russell America Chat is in here. We want another episode of Dark 30 USA. I'm with you guys to talk about the fact that if we are going to go to the recession or not, if we're going to have one recession or it's just, just a noise, it's just a spark and everything going to get better. And the reason that I'm talking about that is because yesterday was Liberation Day, and as President Trump himself said that the reason that he put it on the 2nd April, not the 1st April, because he didn't want people to get confused with April Fool. So he said, I'm going to put it on 2nd April so nobody thinks it is April Fool. And what he did for the Liberation Day in order to bring all the jobs and factories back to United States, he set some tariffs on other countries to make it a little more difficult for those companies to sell their products to American market to American consumers. And the only way to go around these tariffs is to just bring and make those products, make those factories inside the United States. So what happened is I thought it's going to put like 50%, 25% on all of the manufacturer, all the countries, but actually he didn't. Like the numbers varied compared to each other. Like each country had different tariff, and how he did that, I mean, it's a little more complicated than what I'm saying, but in general basically was we see how much you are putting tariffs on our products, like that country, like for example, let's say China put 50% on our products, so we put half of it, 25%. And I will explain to you why he didn't put exactly, because his promise was if you charge us 50%, we charge you 50%. So the same, to make it fair. But the reason that he made it even half of it, I will explain to you why he did that. And I think on a Kasparian to Young Turks channel, I watched that she was talking about that there is already 10% on default, by default, on every country. So those numbers that we see, the tariff that United States putting on other countries is plus that 10%. So if it is, for example, for Israel, it is 17%, is plus that 10%, is going to be 27%. I don't know about that. It is Anna said that, probably she knows more than I do, so I go with that. And then I will explain why he didn't put exactly, he didn't match the number of tariffs with others, with other countries, and almost it is half, almost. Like if it is 50% to American product, we put 25% on, and then, but again, if we go with the Anna, if it's plus 10%, so it makes it up to them. But I'm not sure about that because there were so many countries that was 10-10. So they are charging, they are putting 10% on us, we put 10% on them. If that's the case, it means basically we are doing 20% plus that 10%. So that doesn't make sense, because the worst case scenario was like we charge them as much as they charge us. But I will explain to you exactly what I think gonna happen. I mean, already we are seeing the response. Response is S&P dropped by 2.5%, something like that. All the stocks start dropping super fast. Even crypto, it affected crypto. I don't know what crypto has anything to do with US market, because the whole point of the crypto was to be decentralized, to not be manipulated by those whales, big boy, Wall Street and those investors. But apparently that's the case, and I think the reason it's happening is because of those ETFs and all those stuff and those regulations, those laws that they are putting. I think in 2021, I'm not an expert, but I think that time they thought nobody takes this crypto seriously, but then when they realized that how powerful decentralized currency is, they realized that okay, if you cannot fight them, hire them. So they couldn't fight cryptocurrency, crypto. So if you cannot fight them, then hire them. So they hired them. So now they put it like BlackRock, I think, is one of the biggest investors of Bitcoin. And even if you look at the China and United States, they are competing in who buys more. And even right now I'm seeing 1.24%. The gold is going down in here in the chart, like in the news that it comes to the window. Apparently it's a very big news that everyone is talking about, that all the news is about the tariffs, and they are saying Canada and Mexico already folded, and they said if the United States drop their tariffs on us, we drop all of our tariffs. Like if they bring down to the zero, we bring it to zero. And the reason that Canada and Mexico, they already folded, because if United States already is buying, like, let's put it that way, United States is putting almost zero tariff on Canada and Mexico, almost, very low. And Canada and Mexico, they are putting that much tariff. Their economy is based on that much tariff they are imposing on United States. But United States economy is not relying on tariffs on Mexico and Canada. We are already not putting. So wherever we are right now, it is without Mexico and Canada putting tariffs. But where Canada and Mexico are, it is basically with all those tariffs, the benefits that they are getting by imposing tariff on us. And still they are collapsing. Still economic is crashing for them. So without getting any benefit of tariffs on Mexico and Canada, we are doing good without any of those help. So with those tariffs, we're going to do even better. But for them, with all those tariffs that they impose on us, still they are collapsing. So imagine if we go up just like them, it's over for them. So they say, stay there, we promise to come back. And because this gonna hurt them a little, but if we go up with them, it's gonna hurt them a lot. So that's the reason. Like if they drop all the tariff imposed on us, still it's gonna hurt their economy, but they can survive. But if we put tariff on them, it's game over for them. And I think President Trump, as he said, basically Canada gonna be 51st state is the best time. Don't let them trick you, force them to collapse, to fold. To fold, not to fold, they are already folded. They're already saying they're going to drop all of our tariffs. But no, wait until they say we are collapsing, then buy them. Like an auction. Wait until it is too expensive that nobody can afford, so you are the only one who give the offer. So now you give the cheapest offer. So I think that's the best time. There's another benefit in United States continue the war with Canada, because if Canada collapses and cannot survive, and United States buy the Canada, all other countries gonna fold immediately, because they said because it's gonna scare them. They're gonna say, wow, look what those tariffs did to Canada. Canada was a country and now it is a state. Just imagine what's gonna do to us. And this fear makes everyone fold. And I think, sometimes you have to punish one, so one student, so whole class would learn the lesson. So I think that unlucky student should be Canada. So force them so much until they fold, they turn to 51st state, and after that, basically every other country say, oh, just imagine what's going to happen to us. So they're going to say, whatever you say, in any condition that you apply, we accept that. So for that reason, I think United States shouldn't listen to Canada. Like right now, Canada is desperate. Like I remember 2 months ago, they were acting tough. Oh, we're going to impose back tariffs on you. We're going to retaliate. Oh, we're going to do the bourbon, I don't know, orange juice. We're going to do tariff aluminum, steel, blah, blah, blah. But basically, they were bluffing, right? And Trump called their bluff and said, yeah, okay, let's go at war. And right now, they are saying, please, the moment you do that, we're gonna stop our tariffs. So, and I think Canada and the government, nothing against the people, I think they show that why they cannot be trusted, because every time that we are nice to them, they move forward. They say, okay, how much nicer can you be to me? Instead of saying, oh, you were nice to me, so let me do something in return. It's a friend. Friendship means you did something for me without you expecting something from me. I have to remember it, so give it back to you. Sometimes be nice back to you. But somebody who takes advantage of you say, as long as you don't mention it, I keep taking advantage of you. And this is exactly what Canada was doing. And I think that's the best time to learn their lesson and become of 51st state. That would basically make up for all those stop us from having recession, because the market is like showing it like responding badly. Anarcho-Kasparians also said, well, the reason that it's going down because it was just a bubble, like like the price for those stocks were inflated. She's not entirely wrong, and I agree with her. I don't agree necessarily it was all of them was bubble, because we mass produce way more than before. So they're not like, for example, do you know why the stock goes up, right? More people buy product of that one company, and that company's value goes higher. So then when they want to put a value on those assets, the lands they have, the product, the factory, everything, you want to see the value of that asset. So that value goes up because you are booming, the economy is booming, and there is more trust into your product. So you sell more, and then you buy more land, more factories, blah, blah, blah. And then they've added all of them together, and then they realize that, and they see, okay, so this is how much it's worth, and divided by each share, each unit. So that's the price of each stock. But so look, for example, right now S&P and Nasdaq is going so high, and you have to understand, like the reason that it's going so high because we are bringing new industry to the business. Like Nasdaq is a top 100 companies in the United States, and S&P is top 500, right? And you have to understand, like for example, 20 years ago, there was no AI. 20 years ago, there was no drone. All those businesses that are coming to the game without previous businesses get destroyed. For example, back in the day, it was like there were some jobs was created at cost of elimination of other jobs. So like, I don't know, for example, let's say horse riding, right? Back in the day, people were riding horse, so that was the business in selling and buying horse. And now we are buying and selling car. Nobody buys horse, so it's out of business. Instead, cars came to it. But now the previous jobs still exist. They are still in the game while we have the new one. Let's put it that way. Like Apple. For example, like Apple was making iPad, iPhone, and then Facebook came. After Facebook, it turned to Meta. Now it's not only social media, they are making even sunglasses, they are making VR headsets, right? So Apple is not out of business, so Meta gets replaced by that. So basically, if it was zero sum, somebody gets out of the business, somebody comes to it. So always it's going to have the same flow, like same speed, same slope. But when the previous business still is in game and you added new ones, so exponentially they're still going to go up because top 100 companies, now there's even more competition. So that's the beauty of capitalism versus communism. Communism, the wealth is always the same. We have to just distribute them equally, so we make sure like everyone get the fair share. But capitalism means without me making you poor, I can get rich. And that's why like America is just getting richer and richer. And the reason is because you don't need to go to bankrupt, so I get richer. You can stay there and I go higher. Like for example, like Elon Musk is sending a human to the Mars, for example. Let's say he start making business by sending tourists to the moon or to the Mars, right? So when he does that, what kind of job did he eliminate? Like for example, we used to go to Paris to see Eiffel Tower, right? Now, why should I go to the Paris? Why should I see the Eiffel Tower when I can go to the moon? No, that doesn't make sense. Still, there are people go to the Paris to see the Eiffel Tower, and some people they're gonna go to moon. So without eliminating the tourism on Earth, we created tourism on moon or on Mars, right? So that's basically how it works. So that's the beauty of capitalism. So I don't believe necessarily, I don't agree with Anna necessarily that when she said it is inflated, it's a bubble. Well, you have to see in last 5 years how many AI companies like Nvidia, all of them, they got boosted because of AI. Now we have Grok, we have ChatGPT, we have all different type of AI. So they didn't eliminate any previous job. They just added more value to the table, to the company, to the business, to the market. So in my opinion, it's not, yes, some of them it's just inflated, but besides that, we have to see how many more jobs we have created without eliminating previous one, without having zero sum. So we are all going up. That's why exponentially it is going up. And also, but yeah, some of them I could understand, like that was a bubble and it got popped. But what I'm gonna say is, first let's see Morning Joe in MSNBC, what this man says, and then I will give you my opinion, my take on that. Let's see.
Tariffs are a terrible mistake. They don't work.
Any positive take on this?
Well, I can answer the second question first. I don't think there's a single positive take on this. This is all just bad. It's bad, as we talked about before, for inflation. It's bad for economic growth. It's bad for everything. But let me put this a little bit in perspective. We talked about the stock market today and how bad a day it's going to have. This chart predates that, and it goes back really to the election. And I wanted to show you, because Trump's got a bunch, as we also talked briefly about before, of other economic and challenges he's facing. And so the stock market, which is this red line, our stock market, we start out here, and he was doing pretty well after the election. There was this burst of Trump euphoria, as we saw in 2016 as well. But since Inauguration Day, it has basically been straight down for our stock market. And that is a combination of anticipation of these tariffs, but also just all the chaos and commotion down there, the cutting, the Doge, all this stuff, and the uncertainty has really scared the market. And that's actually in stark contrast. China, which has had a terrible run in its stock market, has actually done exceptionally well. And even Europe, which is certainly nothing to brag about on the economic front, has way outperformed us. So Trump had a set of challenges already, as represented by the stock market before. And again, before yesterday, because we don't have updated numbers just yet, economists were taking down their projections for the economy for this year. So Goldman Sachs thinks that unemployment, which they thought was going to be 4%, they now think is going to be 4.5%. And these numbers are going to get worse when they put out a new forecast. Inflation, which they thought was going to be between 2 and 2.5%, they now think is going to be almost 3.5%. And economic growth, which was supposed to be almost 2.5%.
So the economic growth, the way is because the economic is unstable. So that's why it's not reacting the way that it should. It takes time to create the job, and that's why the inflation is going up. I just know about the eggs. It's up because Biden killed so many chickens under his administration. So it takes time for eggs to turn to the chicken. That's why the eggs price were so high. And also for the gas, the Houthis attack on the Middle East, and that is causing to have the higher gas price. What was the previous one? The unemployment. Yeah, and unemployment, yeah, that's bad. As a Trump supporter, I don't have anything to add to this one. Even I don't have anything to say. Okay.
0.5%. These numbers are going to get worse when they put out a new forecast. Inflation, which they thought was going to be between 2 and 2.5%, they now think is going to
for regular people just trying to buy things around the house. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, so this is an analysis done by Yale's Budget Lab. It was again done before yesterday. It assumed a 20% universal tariff. I think you're going to find these numbers get a bit worse when they rerun them for the actual proposal, but it'll give you a very good sense of what we're looking at. And so it divides the country into 10 groups based on income. If you take the middle group here, they're looking at an average of $3,800 a year in additional costs to them. As you go up the income scale, the actual dollars you get do go up. But what's happening is the percent loss of your income is going down. In other words, it's regressive. People at the upper end are losing less of their income. People at the bottom end are losing more of their income, over 5% of the income, $2,300, somewhere in the second tenth from the bottom, which is probably $20,000 a year or something like that of annual income, obviously.
Listen, that's really a stupid way to say that, because you don't need to even know a lot about the economy to understand that's a, so he's saying basically, well, because of those tariffs, everything gonna get more expensive and it's gonna cost American people. And he's saying by average, in the people in the middle, they're gonna pay $3,500 more, right, for per year. Their expenses per year is going to be $3,500 more, the middle one. So he divided the economic classes to 10 different groups, and the middle one, so middle class basically. And he was saying of course those people who are living in higher area, the richer people, richer class, they're gonna pay more. It's gonna cost them, this tariff's gonna cost them more because of course they're gonna build a business. If you're running the business, those tariffs gonna hit you harder. So he said even though they are paying more, but they are paying less percentage, which is obvious. Like of course, like for example, if I have $10 and I lose only $5, $5 is nothing, $5. I lost 50%. But if I have, for example, $1 million and I lose, like, let's say, I don't know, like, let's say I have 100,000, right? I lose 1,000. I lose 1%. I lost $1,000, only 1%. This guy only lost $5, but 50%. Bro, the way that you are talking is just you are talking with the children, or probably people who are watching MSNBC. They are not very smart enough or bright enough that they understand. Who are you explaining to you? Bro, of course, those people who are richer, they're gonna by their percentage, they're gonna pay less, and the reason is obvious. You have to use your brain. Listen, everything has limited costs. If that was a word, like for each level, each category, each economic level, right? We had different type of pleasure, different type of hobby, different type of expenses that totally would take us to the different world. Like, you know, like different, I could understand. Let's put in that. Let's say there is an amusement park for middle class, and there is an amusement park for the rich people. And those people, amusement park, those rides in the amusement park, it's gonna be completely different than those in the middle class one, right? So when you compare these two together, right? So you would say, oh, this man is the price for the rich people gonna be exponentially higher because, for example, the ticket for the middle class amusement park is what? Is $10. The ticket for the amusement park for the rich people is, for example, $100, right? $10, $100. So you pay $100 for extra pleasure, extra hobby, different type of experience that middle class can never experience that. If that was the case, you would see that everyone with the inflation, with the tariff would face the same amount of heat, blowback. But the thing is, everything is limited. Like, for example, like a steak is the best type of meat that you can eat, right? It's limited. How much is the steak? You know what I'm saying? It's $20, $30, $50. Depends on which restaurant you go. That's it. Done. $20. $30. So it's not like, oh, I am richer, so a steak that I have to pay should be $1,000. If that was the case, the tariff would hit people exactly equally. But because expenses for living, like for breathing, for driving, for living in the house, for having water, for having food, for having clothes, for all those stuff is limited. It's not like, oh, I am rich, I have different type of PC that I can stream that nobody can afford, cannot even think. It's like we have some luxury stuff like Rolex stuff, you know, but I'm saying, but it's for very, very few people. But in general, rich people have the access and they're doing and spending those things that middle class are doing. Only difference is middle class doing 1 time per month, rich people do 10 times per month. The only difference is how often you use those services. That's the difference. So when the price of the products is the same for all the group, so of course those people who are richer, they're gonna get hit lower. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I am using exactly what those middle class are doing, or I am doing exactly what those rich people are doing. Just they are doing it more frequently. They go out for the dinner more than us. For us, it takes once per month. For them, it takes every other day. But just because we are going to the same restaurant, same steak, same car, same place, same air, same water, it's gonna hit us less. So the way that they are still acting like trying to like communism thing, like they're showing these rich people, nothing happens to them, only you poor people. But bro, it's obvious they have more money and their expenses is the same as middle class. They are just doing it more often. In that case, it's not going to hurt them that much. Do you understand what I'm saying? I understand for the taxes, property taxes, for the house that you have, for the car, stuff, you can a little go higher. But for regular expenses, Like, it's not like rich people that have access to the golden egg. They eat the yolk of the yellow part of the egg is made out of gold. It's the same egg. For you it is $2. For him it's $2. So when he buys $2 egg, it's gonna be like, if he makes $10 per hour, it's gonna be 20% of his hourly wage. But for you, you are making $2 is just 2%. That's why it doesn't hurt them as much, because we have access to the same resources and expenses is the same. If they were living in a Mars, yeah, of course, those tariffs would hit them differently. So the way that they are trying to say, oh, these rich people, nothing happened to them, you gonna pay the price, you poor people. No, they are paying the price. But it's not that much for them, because their expenses is the same as middle class, but just because they're making more money, they get hit less. It's very simple, and it's very sad to see. They think people are so stupid that they explain the situation the way that they are doing. I'm not trying to defend Trump or anything. I'm just saying that's a stupid way to argue.
Obviously, not a lot. So this is an indication of consumers. We're also starting to see an impact on business, and that's again part of why share prices are so depressed, because of cost. This is a prices paid by manufacturers for their goods that they need to make their product, and you can see how it's already shot up before the tariffs. In anticipation of the tariffs, companies are adding to their prices, and we've also had a few tariffs put in place. And I'll just also quickly note that manufacturing is
Guys, S&P 500 is negative 4.31%. Like, let's say 4.5%. We are going down. We are going down. Actually, the title is 50-50 into recession. Now it is 69.
turned down
So
and is now in contract.
It's 69. Was that 31?
Another piece of not good news for the Trump administration.
So as we move to your third chart, you raised President McKinley a few minutes ago, Steve. So let's talk about the history of tariffs. We have a long record to prove whether...
Said because when they put them on just by half of it giving it back to farmers. So they've talked about how these tariffs are going to solve the budget deficit problem and generate hundreds of billions of dollars in revenues. History would not tell you that that is what is likely to happen. And then let's look at one other specific example: jobs. At a cost per job of $817,000 per job created, because there was some additional domestic production. But when the tariffs ended during the Biden administration, the price of the machines went down $75, and when all is said and done, they actually went down by a bit less, by a bit more than inflation. So here's an example of exactly how it works. You put on tariffs, prices go up for everything: domestic, imported, washing machines, and dryers. You take them off, they go down, and for all that, you've paid $800,000 a job.
How quickly are American consumers going to feel this?
I think probably very quickly in the next few months. The tariffs go into effect over the next few days, almost instantaneously. There are some goods that are already here that won't be tariffed, but I think, frankly, you're going to see companies start to raise prices right away, because it's going to be, as we talked earlier, it's going to be hard for them to recoup all the costs of the tariff, and they're going to do their best to do it by raising prices very quickly.
Morning, Joe. Economic analyst Steve Ratner, thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. So look, definitely it's gonna hit the economy. Let me give you my take. When Trump he was talking in Joe Rogan's show and in other shows, he was saying, when was it? Yeah, I think 2 months before the election, something like that. He was saying, when I went to the White House, everything was new to me, and I couldn't even believe that I was there. So everything was surreal to me. This is what Trump said. What does that mean? It means even he didn't believe that. He didn't believe that, oh, really, am I here? Is it really happening? It already happened? So he was saying, like, still I was like a little in coma, in dizziness of what was happening. So he wasn't ready. Like, he did what he did, he participated, he got elected, and also he had some fun. He said, I'm gonna have the border, I'm gonna do this, da 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 da. He had a couple of talking points that made him popular, you know, like those tariffs, like stuff similar to that, you know. But then, what's it called? He did stuff like, you know, like stuff that he promised, like making the wall, and he had a couple of ideas what to do, what not to do, but he wasn't really into the game. Like he wasn't 100% ready. He wasn't locked in. He was, I try. So that's why even he did. Even of course you believe that you're gonna win. That's why you participate. Other than that, you don't waste your time. But it wasn't like 100% he was locked in. But for 2024, he was so positive that it's gonna happen, and he already had his team ready. Like, you know, most of the time, all you care about is being elected. After you are elected, then it is aftermath. You think about that, who to hire, who to not hire, your team, and so many of your policies start afterward. But for him, this time he said, I got the experience in 2016 election in my first term. I got experience. I got to know who is swamp, who is not, who, like he wanted to drain the swamp. He said, I didn't know who the swamp was. And later on, I realized that people around me, they were part of the swamp, deep state. So he was saying, like, I got to know everybody. I know what's going on. Now, this time, I'm not going to make any mistake, or I'm not going to let this slow down. So then basically, we won't let, I'm not going to gain any experience. I'm not going to learn my lesson. I learned my lesson in previous term. Now it is time to use those, apply those experience that I achieved from the first term right now the second term. That's why, like, he didn't waste any time. He was just sharp, doing one after each other. Like, day after day, we were hearing news about ending the war in Ukraine, Russia, in Palestine, Israel, all over the world, nuclear deal with Iran, tariffs imposed on Canada and Mexico, and the border. You know, like every day we were hearing something, some news, because he didn't have any time to waste, and also he was thinking about that. Well, I already learned what I needed to learn, so now I don't need to wait to see how the politician going to react to it. I know them. So for that reason, this time he was, at least to himself, for himself, he was very more confident. He is very more confident. So if sometimes he was playing around, joking around about the stuff in first term, he wasn't exactly sure what to do, how to do. He just had some idea. But this time he said, not only I have idea, exactly I know that how to imply them. And this time, I haven't seen on any mission and any policy to be that confident as he is for these tariffs. Like he would put all his reputation, all his legacy, even Trump logo on his hotels. He put everything on the line for these tariffs. Like imagine, I don't know, Washington Post was something like a journal had the interview with. The guy was like, basically, he was a finance expert, right? And Trump was saying, you don't know anything. He was saying, like, if you put the tariffs, it's gonna have the more cost of living, you know, for Americans, gonna hurt the economy, the people. And he was just saying, you don't know anything. You know, sometimes you are so confident that make people believe in you. Not because they know what you are doing, just because they said there is no way that he's bluffing with that level of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Your confidence makes everyone believe in you just because of how they see you are not afraid, you're not stuttering. And Trump, on this policy at least, he has shown, like at least Piers Morgan yesterday was saying, he says, at least I know Trump believes that it's gonna work. Actually, I agree with Piers, because I haven't seen Trump, to be that confident. That level of confidence with Trump is kind of terrifying. Like, as if he has a time machine, he went in the future and he saw that it worked, and he's coming back and said, guys, just shut up and trust me. He's not even fainting. He's not even shaking at all. You don't see any shake the way that he knows that it's going to work. For that reason, I'm not saying just because he believes in what he's doing, so it means like he's doing the right thing, but at least I'm saying he really believes that it's going to work out. And I give him credit, because for 2 months, listen, for 2 months, He was talking about the Liberation Day, we're gonna announce something big in Liberation Day, 2nd April. I didn't put 1st April because I didn't want people to be confused with April Fool, blah, 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 blah. So he had been talking about that. And when he was playing the tariff game with the Canada and Mexico, we saw the result on the stock market. And the US market was crashing. And he didn't even a little get doubt in him. He said, no, it's fine. That level of confidence made me believe like maybe he's cooking something behind the stage. I'm giving him benefit of doubt. Of course, I voted for him. He better do the job. We voted for all those promises, so he better keep up to those promises. But I'm saying if he had 1% doubt that it's not going to work out, probably in last 2 months that the economy was going down, like those numbers that you saw, the unemployment, the inflation, and also the stock market was going down, he would play game a little. He would go a little slower, not rough, like a little mellow, not so fast, not too rush, maybe a little put the feet on the brake, something. But no, actually, not only he was going, he went full. Like you had to see the Liberation Day yesterday when he was talking. It was like, guys, I'm nice to you. You guys are using tariffs on us, imposing tariffs on us for 50%. We are doing 25%. So we are nice to you. So he was like, I didn't do all the way in. Something that already the market is crashing because of that. He was saying like, I was just, even he believes like he's too nice to others. He's saying like, I was nice, I could go harder, man, be harsher on you guys. So I believe he knows what he's doing, and I'm gonna tell you what is in mind. Listen, the best thing for Democrats to blame on Trump is market. The reason is because, for example, he imposed on tariff like yesterday, like Liberation Day, like 2nd April. It's not going to go on the work till 9 April. So 9 April, it's going to start. So now it's just a news. But 9 April, it's going to get to the work, right? So that moment, we're going to see the real result. It's going to start. And also, when it's going to start, it's going to take a couple of days or weeks or maybe even months to see the result. So it's not like today we impose the tariff, tomorrow everything gets expensive. As Morning Joe, the guy said, there are so many goods already in the country, so there will be no tariffs on them. But the moment that they are gone, they are used, they are consumed, and we want to ship in more of those, that time we're going to see the result. So for those things that we have already in cargo on the stock, in the warehouse, the price is going to be the same. But when it goes empty, the warehouse is empty, we're going to replace it, then we're going to see the real price. The difference, right? So it's gonna take like few weeks, maybe even 1 month to see the result. So in order for Democrats to go attack on Trump, it would take them 1 month, and by 1 month it's going to be so many other news that people get distracted that probably they're not going to care that much. Like a slow. If it is like a slow burn, slowly people are going to face that inflation or see the a spike on the price. People are gonna probably adapt to that. But if everything goes in one day, you see everything gets more expensive, so people are gonna react to it. So the best time for Democrats to attack on Trump is today, tomorrow, right now. Because the stock market right now, stock markets react before it applies. Like nothing has got more expensive, the stock market is crashing. Why? Because the investors are saying, well, hold on a second. So if there is those tariffs imposed, it means everything gonna get more expensive in here. And if it gets more expensive, less people gonna buy that. And if less people gonna buy that, it means I'm gonna sell less. If I sell less, the value goes down, the stock price goes down. But all of those calculations happen in the mind right now with the feeling right now. That's why stock markets react instantly. Because the whole process for that value of the company to go down would take 1 month. But stock market, hours after he had his speech for the Liberation Day, hours after the, look, not only hours, while he was talking, market was reacting to it. Bro, nothing has changed. How do you react to it? How do you know that it's going to go down? Because investors want to take their money out before it hits. Because right now, they can put the money out. Because after that, when the value of the company goes down because of those tariffs, you take the money out, you lost the money. The best way to lose the money is before it goes down. So buy low, sell high. They want to sell high because they know that after that it's going to go down. That's why you can never know that what's going to happen, because they sell high, but it goes even higher. And you say, wait, what? Because you never know that. You're going to sell high, you say, oh, because it's going to go down. And you see Trump does some policies that is go back up and say, why did I sell that? That's why it's very tricky, risky. It's not as easy as you think, buy, sell, buy, sell. You know, so many people are reacting to it. They want to not lose their money, so they are selling all of their stock before it goes down, right? But the thing is, this is what I think, and I hope I'm right, because I want Trump to be right, because if Trump's right, it helps our economy. I believe last two times that Powell didn't bring down the interest rate, federal rate, right? The interest rate didn't go down for today, for now, because they kept it in the pocket. They said, if we drop the, because 25%, not 25, 0.25%, 0.25%, bring it down, if they did that, think about that. If they did that, and right now it's crashed, really we would have recession. So for two times that everyone expected 4.5, gonna be 4.25, he didn't. He kept his card. So right now that it is going down, he's gonna bring down the rate. Now it's not gonna go up. Now the crypto gonna go up. Do you get what I'm saying? If he used those two times, if Powell brought down the interest rate two times in last 2 months, last 3 months, if he brought it down two times, because we expected to go every time step by step goes down, if he did that, and right now the market reacted to the Liberation Day the way that it did today, they will say, oh, our hands are empty, we already brought down the interest rate. This is the last thing you can do. So bringing down interest rate is the last thing you can do, because after that your hands are empty. You're playing, this is the last card you should play, in my opinion. You bring down interest rate right now, if something happens to your economy, you don't have any card. That's the last card you should play with. So he kept it for two times. So market adjust to it, market regulate, adapt to it, and then when right now it is going down, it brings the interest rate and it goes back up, healing. That's for one. For two, I believe with those spending, those saving from the waste and fraud in the government, in the federal, that Doge was finding, all the money for waste and fraud that they are going to be saved by Doge, I believe somehow he's going to put them back to the market. Because what we thought, it was like Trump going to use those money, give like 10%, 20% stimulus check to the people, so people get shut up about that, say, oh, I got the money, I got my ice cream, so it gives people the ice cream, so shut up about the Doge. And after that, with all the money that we are saving, we put it back to the pay our debts, you know, or bring down the 36 national debt, $36 billion national debt. But I think, at least for now, in this critical moment, what Trump should do, and I think he's gonna do that, he's gonna send those money that he's finding from the waste and fraud into the market, so the market get stabilized. So I think two cards that he can play to make sure that we don't go to the recession and market doesn't crash. One, the money that he got from the waste and fraud, bring it back to the market. Two, and use the interest rate that for two times he saved it, he didn't change it, stayed 4.5. Now he's gonna use it if it's needed. That I think it's needed, because in the Windows there is a section, it shows everything is going down, everything, crypto, everything's going down. And I believe when he had so many conference, so many regulation day for the crypto, he had national crypto, he brought people who were into the crypto business around himself. He put so many regulation on, we're gonna make America healthy again, crypto, nationalize crypto, blah blah blah, all of them, right? So all of them should have helped. Normally they should. Those any law passed in favor of crypto are gonna boost up the price of the crypto, right? Because it's more reliable. It's not only thin air. It is more than that. It's an asset. But we saw no changes. Actually, the crypto was going down. So you would ask yourself, how is it possible? The crypto is going down while we are passing the law to favor of crypto. I think he kept it for now. What do I mean by that? So he kept the crypto over there online. Like he made those laws, passed those laws for today. So when it is going down, he uses those laws that he passed into the favor of that. So, but in order to do that, he has to pass a law. But if he pass a law after Liberation Day, people say, oh, so crypto is a scam. So you are using the crypto as like a scam to just manipulate the business, the market. So people don't understand that like we are going to recession. So with crypto scam, crypto manipulation into the market, you are making people think like everything is fine, but it's not. But since he passed those laws prior to Liberation Day, now everything is ready. So the moment that he feels like it is going bad, now he used those laws that he passed, nationalized cryptocurrencies, into the favor of market. Because you should ask yourself, China and United States, they are competing with each other who mine Bitcoin more, who has more Bitcoin. Like there's a competition. But the price of the Bitcoins go. You start to ask yourself, if people are keep buying it, then how is it? Like, because who is more powerful, you or China, you or America? Most two powerful entities, money-wise, in the world and military-wise also, they're competing to buy more Bitcoin. How is it possible the Bitcoin is down? Because they are playing the game. So I think he was playing the game to keep the price low. So now that everything is going down, he bring the price up. And most of the time it happens. Every time that you think everything going well, it goes bad. Every time you think, oh, that's the end, that's the dead end, that's the recession, it's going good. If you remember 6 months ago, everyone thought that we're going to have recession with Biden. Everybody in the United States thought that we're going to have recession. What happened? Not only we didn't go to the recession, economy was booming. So I believe right now it is a spike. I hope I'm not wrong, because if I'm wrong, the country gonna collapse. But the way that Trump was confident, and also he passed those laws to favor of the market without helping the market. So he passed those laws, so always has those cards to play with, and he waited until Liberation Day, when everyone gonna react to it emotionally, and it's gonna go down, tank. Then he used those cards that he already created prior to Liberation Day, after Liberation Day, aftermath, to keep it high, to not let it collapse. Because there's no way all these crypto businessmen around him and Trump himself, a businessman, does something stupid like that and make everyone go down. So I think even Democrats, they know that soon everything gonna be better. So they say the best time that we have to make people believe that the economy is bad is right now. Because if they wait 4 months and good thing happens, then they don't have anything to blame on Trump. Right now they can. Tomorrow they can't. If everything goes well, I hope. Finger crossed. Inshallah. Inshallah. This is the Quran. And here's my Bible. Quran and Bible. I really right now praying to God, Allah, Ya Allah, that I'm right and it doesn't go bad. Because if it goes, bro, we are all going south. We are all going south. So I hope it doesn't happen. We win and hopefully make America great again, make America healthy again. Thanks for watching. This is also, now we are talking about the economy, restricted area, as you can see in here and here. My book, it's available on Amazon, restricted area, Amir Hossein Shahri. Just put restricted area, space Amir Hossein Shahri, as you can see, and then let me put it in here. You don't need to put that. America is my middle name. I mean, you can put that as well. I mean, it's my name in Amazon too. Amir Hossein Shahri, as you can see, restricted area on Amazon. All the profits from selling my book sales are going to be donated to American children who are battling cancer. I love America. I'm grateful for every second that I'm living in this greatest nation in the history. And I'm really hoping, I mean, we voted for Trump for great America. So I hope it doesn't collapse. Everything goes well. Thanks for watching. And support my book. It's the first 5D book ever, and it's gonna be better than every novel that you have read. I don't know how many novels have you read, but I know it's not like that. And the reason that I know that, even though I don't know you, I don't know how many books have you read, what books we read, I already know that because the way that I wrote it, it's different than any other book, any other novel. It's 5D, and more that you read that, more you understand. Like I spent 2,500 hours on it. I really counted. Afterward, of course, more than 2,500. But when I was using the minimum that I was sure I spent that much in those months, I spent 2,500. And in Islam, we say donate what you like the most and what is more valuable the most for you. And this is the most valuable thing that I have done in my life, restricted area. And if you do that, I'm gonna donate all of them to American children. I hope nobody suffers from the cancer. And we all are human. I'm nationalists, and I think we should already take care of each other. And thanks for watching. And I hope to see you next time. And remember, like always, as above, so below.